Next, we will see the 6D series. In the 6D series, we have got the actinium element, and from actinium we go on to copernicium. They have oxidation states maximum at +8, hastium, and meitnerium is predicted to show the oxidation state at +9. Of course, copernicium is known to exist even in solid state, though for a very small time, and show 0 oxidation state. These elements have very small half-lives, means they will exist for very small time as elements, free elements, and so studying these elements or their properties becomes extremely difficult. Next, we will see one important property of transition elements, and that is they are shiny and lustrous. This is a metallic character, and the metals, you know, they have one or several unpaired electrons in the valence shell. These electrons are loosely held by the weak electrostatic forces of attraction, and they involve in forming metallic bonds. The metal atoms now appear as being embedded in a sea of electrons. When light strikes a metal surface, it is easily reflected by the surface. How? Let us see. The sea of electrons forming a cloud of negative charge on the metal surface also will get polarized when light impinges upon them or when electromagnetic wave strikes it. The electrons are then set into oscillations and a new electromagnetic wave is generated. You will say how? Because a charged particle is oscillating. So, it is having electric field as well as a magnetic field associated with it. Now, what was the incident light? It was electromagnetic wave which we impinged on or which we made incident on the metal surface. The electrons set into motion, into their vibrations, into their oscillations, and set up another electromagnetic wave because that is associated with electric field as well as magnetic field. Now, are these two waves, the incident wave and the one that is formed by the electrons, in phase or are they out of phase? What is the meaning of in phase? See here, I have shown you in the diagram here, when the peaks are just one above the other, like the troughs one below the other, it is called an in phase system. Here you are having out of phase. The peaks are not one above the other, neither the troughs are one below the other. They are either ahead or behind each other. So, the two possibilities are the two waves out of phase or in phase. Now, it is believed that the electromagnetic waves set up by the oscillation of the electrons are 100% out of phase with the incident wave, and they oscillate to such an extent that they don't allow the incident wave to move inward below the surface of the metals. As a result, the new wave that is formed on the surface gets radiated outward, and we say that the incident ray has got reflected. Now, this reflection has not happened without any small amount of it getting absorbed by the electrons on the surface. What happens as a result? The metal surface appears shiny. You can see here copper, cobalt, molybdenum, how they appear in their pure state. Next, the most important property of these transition metals is their magnetic properties. Transition elements have unpaired electrons in the d subshell of the valence orbital. When iron nails are brought near to a magnet, we see that the iron nails get attracted to the magnetic bar, and we say iron shows magnetism. What is all this due to? Now, magnetism is due to the unpaired electrons. When these transition metal atoms, we said they contain unpaired electrons in their valence orbital, then these electrons are in motion. We know that electrons are moving, and because of that they set up an electric field which we just saw, along with the electric field also sets up a magnetic field. Both of these fields are directional, but with respect to each atom, we can say that they are random. Means since the atoms are all moving, howsoever small their movement may be, the electrons in them will not have the fields of electric and magnetic fields in the same direction. All of them will not be in the same direction. So, these are randomly oriented in different atoms with respect to the different atoms. These small field regions around a spinning unpaired electron forms the magnetic domain inside the atom. When a piece of magnet is brought near to such a substance with the randomly oriented magnetic domains, then the domains will get oriented in the direction of the externally applied magnetic field. We say that the substance shows magnetic properties. That is, the domains get regularized orientation. Now, the electrons show spin motion along the individual axis as well as along the orbit as they move. Okay. So, the two types of magnetic fields can be generated. We can expect one is due to the spin only motion and the other is due to the orbital angular motion. In chemistry, at this elementary level, we shall consider the magnetic moment only due to spin motion. It is called the spin only magnetic moment. It is calculated by a formula mu equal to root over of n into n plus 2, Bohr magneton. Now, that Bohr magneton is denoted by capital B, capital M.